What's the next big topic? Left back. Left back right now is absolutely fascinating. And there he is on the screen. The little horny, aggressive bastard himself. We're excited to see him play. Milos Kerkez. That was done the other week, wasn't it, from Bournemouth? Great photo, great interview. All the things before have been exciting in the build-up up to it, but around 40 million, 5-year deal. Let's just be crystal clear on this. Milos Kerkez, last season for Bournemouth, played all 38 games in the Premier League. Milos Kerkez was a Young Player of the Year, the PFA Young Player of the Year nominee in the top 6, the shortlist. I don't even know if that's been announced. Someone may be able to correct me on that. But in the Premier League alone, 7 goal contributions, 2 goals, 5 assists. Okay? Only 21. It's hard to, I think people forget, younger than Harvey, younger than Kwanzaa, younger than Morton, all those players that went to the under-21 tournament. Liverpool have signed a player to be a starter. Milos Kerkez, and I keep seeing this, that people going, oh, we'll share the minutes. Like, I don't agree with that. I think Milos Kerkez is coming in to be the starter straight away. And John W. Henry there saying, and this is the debate, isn't it? Cracking little player. Costas will have to go if Robbo stays. This is something that Liverpool haven't done too often. They don't really, especially under Klopp, they never did it. They were ultimately loyal, which may have been his downfall. They never push players out. What are they going to do with the left-back situation? I mean, it looked like Andy Robertson was headed for Atletico Madrid, but they plumped for Matteo Ruggieri, didn't they, from Atalanta? And as it said, as Fabrizio Romano talked about his podcast the other day, they did want to sign Robbo on a free or for a small fee, but it wasn't possible. Liverpool wanted their conditions to be respected. Robbo was taking time to think, and during that period, Atletico went, sod this, and pivoted like Ross from Friends to something completely different, didn't they? So that is key. Now, David Ornstein had this, don't know if anyone saw it, on his deal sheet, one of his articles this week, and mentioning about Robbo and Tsimikas. And he said, Robbo may have to sit tight and wait for interest elsewhere before deciding on what to do. Now, that line is not a case of he's definitely staying. He's made that decision. No, I've seen some people say that. Robbo didn't have time to make the decision. I think I know where he'd have gone, to be honest. But Atletico made it for him. So as David Ornstein said, may have to wait from interest elsewhere. Currently on holiday, and Robbo's weighing up his future. Tsimikas as well. Now, we've seen Tsimikas, say before that, what did he, I think I can't remember the exact words. I probably got it somewhere. He described Liverpool as the Broadway of football, along the lines of, I'd rather play, 15, 20 games or whatever it was, rather than 40 games elsewhere. I even have the line actually somewhere. If I just dig it, there it is. And you ran up on screen. I'd rather play 27 to 29 games here than 40 at any other club. So that doesn't scream of a player that's desperate to go. And as Ornstein says, his situation remains unclear. If Rob, and this is Ornstein, if Robbo were to leave, Tsimikas, who has 2 years left on his contract, would at least know he's competing with Gomez for a backup spot behind Kerkez. He's keen to play more often next season, but leaving Liverpool won't be easy unless an attractive offer arrives. And as people are mentioning, we all know who Robbo's agent is and who he's the brother of and all those types of things. So that's a little bit into the mix at the same time. I don't think this is straightforward as people think. I've seen a lot of people now go, easy. Robbo stays. He'll be happy to stay for the year. Tsimikas goes. Bob's your uncle. Job done. Tsimikas clearly wants to stay based on his word. His interview, and that comes from his home country, doesn't it, in Greece. Tsimikas has been a backup. We don't know right now for definite if there is any live offers, shall we say, for Kostas Tsimikas on the table. Robbo as well. I mean, Robbo was the first choice left back. It wasn't really a rotation. That's easily proven by the fact that when you look at the minutes for Robbo in the Premier League and Champions League, just shy of 3,000, wasn't it? Yeah. And when you look at Kostas in the same two competitions, what, around just shy of 1,300 minutes? So let's be clear, 3,000 against 1,300 minutes. So in the two biggest competitions that Liverpool played last season, Kostas didn't even match half of Robbo's minutes. Now, there's a lot of things that go into that. And when you compare the two players specifically, I mean, actually, if you look at FBref, and what we've said this before, is per 90 maybe doing a bit of lifting, not heavy lifting, that would be unfair. But Kostas actually outshines Robbo in the majority of areas, in all honesty. Maybe more the focus that Tsimikas is more of a passer, Robbo's more of a carrier. And I think that bears it out in the stats at the same time. And I get it. I mean, Luke saying there, Tsimikas, an average player, he'll be going, no need for left backs, he'll probably go back to Greece. I don't know about this, Luke, and everyone else. Here's what I think is personally going to happen. All three are going to come back to training, aren't they? And then I think, unless anyone's going to correct me differently, in 6 days' time, they are all scheduled to be in the first group back. They're not playing in international tournaments. Kerkez, it'll be his first day, of course. Discussions are going to have to be had, aren't they? I do think maybe everyone's looking to hear what Arne Slot's got to say to them, you know, as in where he sees it in the rankings. I'm sure they'll all be aware that Milos Kerkez has come in to be the starter, to be the main man. Like we said, you look at his minutes, his age, he's got to, you know, he's going to be making his mark this season. And it's a fair point there in the chat panel. Robbo's drop-off was very noticeable this season, to be fair. We said it time and time again. If you can't be good, be lucky. And Robbo wasn't always good. And Robbo was definitely at the scene of the crime a lot of times last season. You think of games like Fulham and other ones, own goals and, you know, various things. Just to be clear, though, Robbo, absolutely a legend, a player I've adored, still do, seen as a leader in the squad, part of the leadership group. So I get that element of the argument saying, do you want to move that on? Would, you know, especially with all the changes, keep that in the mix. I do fully understand that argument. But if they won't go quietly, Liverpool are going to have to push one of these left backs, aren't they? And for me, I still lean towards it'll be Tsimikas going, but, and I know I sound like a Tory politician when I say this, just from the way Ornstein words it, it may well still be Robbo. As he says, the Scot may have to sit tight and wait for interest elsewhere before deciding. So what is the big decision? Well, a left back's going to go because 3 into 1.5, because you probably just want to back up for Kerkez to play odd minutes, doesn't go. 2 senior centre-backs behind him, doesn't go. Midnight Toker saying, keep Kostas, in his opinion. I'm going to proper get splinters in my arse over this, which is kind of against the nature of big decisions, but I am definitely not certain. Who am I going with? Because I got to plump one way or another, haven't I? I'm just going to go that Robbo does leave, because for me, and again, I know I'm splitting hairs, jumping around, but Tsimikas clearly wants to stay. We've got that. Robbo has had at least that seed planted in his mind with Atletico, as Ornstein has alluded to. May have to wait for interest elsewhere before deciding on what to do. Definitely, though, Kerkez has come in to be first choice. We will see what develops with the left back, but I'll tell you, there's no way we're starting and keeping them wages for 3 left backs this summer. I am kind of fascinated to see what happens there.